Music was everything to Patrick. It empowered him. When he discovered punk rock, it revolutionized him. He was experimenting in a class with building electronics, reconnecting tape heads for certain sound effects and the like. With an $18 Casio SK1 keyboard, he was able to sample, take bits of pre-existing sound and tape, modify and replay them. 1 1/2 second loops. Inspired by a Frankie Goes to Hollywood album, he began to use some of his spare time to experiment with making his own remixes and tape loops. This impressed his friend Keith, who invited Patrick to be the opening act for his band. 6 months later, Patrick moved up to Eugene and joined the band on keyboards, marking his start in the local music scene. During his 2.5 years with this band, they released a CD and headline shows in Portland. Patrick said, if his playing can make people happy, it fulfills his, quote, caregiver need, unquote. He refers to himself as more of, quote, a conceptual artist. There's a concept to everything I do, unquote. He envisions himself as creating, quote, oral sculpture, unquote, by creating a, quote, mood, getting across a certain type of feeling. Patrick believes it's not what he is feeling, but whether or not he is feeling that influences his playing and imbues it with power. Fashion is also an art form of its own to Patrick, in confluence with his music. He attains empowerment and a sense of accomplishment if he can convey his desired aesthetic visually or through his music. If Patrick attains a goal during a rehearsal, performance, or tape mixing session, he says, quote, no one can touch me, unquote, and, quote, nothing can bring me down, unquote. He is so supremely pleased that he feels immune from the world. Although he occasionally enjoys rehearsal as productive alone time, he prefers to be able to be with his family of friends, among whom music yielded the initial cohesion of the group. Music, Patrick says, keeps him sane. Without music, he would be, quote, in a lot different headspace, unquote. Quote, what people get is what I want them to get musically, by how I want to come across. Much of Patrick's music style consists of synthesizer music over drum machine beats in a truly lovely, hypnotic, serene style he calls trance music. It helped Patrick to have a forum in which to play. At the time of this interview in 1997, among local establishments, he expressed a preference for playing at Icky's Tea House, both because of its anomalous lack of structure and its laid-backness, which allowed performers to exercise their own drive and responsibility, and because he prefers and is proud to play to people from his world. Those are Patrick's own words and sentiments from my grad school thesis in a 1997 interview. I love you all. I love you eternally, unconditionally, forever. Patrick and Jesse. Thank you. This is Ellen, sending love from Eugene.